It's one of the biggest fears of society at the moment is AI and what it's going to do. I've been trialling many different things for various pain points, and I had saved 6 hours that week. Yay! So essentially nearly a whole day that I could go out focusing on growth.
Actually, I calculated the other day, if you can save 2 hours a day with AI, that's a month a year.
I'd be in Italy.
I reckon I wouldn't be far behind you, actually. I'm thinking Greece.
There's just that few steps ahead, and remain curious and try different things, and that's where the secret sauce is for AI, I believe.
If I could wave a magic wand and erase one bottleneck now, just poof, gone, what would it be? Many property managers are drowning in admin, while the real moneymaker, the relationship with the investor, can get overwhelmed with busy work. In this episode of Thought Leaders, Nikki D'Agostino, who's running a Strata agency, consulting for the Efficiency Co., raising 2 kids under 5, and somehow still finds time to speak at industry conferences, breaks down 3 ways to use AI to eliminate the busy work and get back to being human. If you stay right till the end, here are just 3 things that you'll learn in this episode. So number 1, the Monday Task Audit. How to track every task you do in a day, dump it into ChatGPT, and have AI build you a matrix that can be automated, delegated, or eliminated. Number 2, Agentic AI for the soul-destroying stuff. So why Nikki is deploying AI agents to handle arrears calls, payment plans, and paperwork so that her team can focus more on the 1,600 property owners who actually need a human touch. And thirdly, the human-first automation strategy. How to automate the mundane to focus on the meaningful, because the future workplace isn't about replacing people, it's about making better humans who excel at relationships and problem solving. Stick around to the very end, because Nikki also reveals the exact prompt she uses to build her entire operating system, why social sciences might be more valuable than maths in the AI age, and the one bottleneck she'd eliminate for every property manager if she had a magic wand. I hope you enjoy this episode of Thought Leaders.
Hi, Sam. Good to be here.
You seem like someone with a seriously full diary. For people that don't know you, can you give us a little rapid-fire version? What are all the hats you're wearing right now?
Yeah, sure. So I launched an agency this year, Rezzi Strata, where I'm the director and licensee, and we've grown since March to a team of 4 and grown the portfolio from scratch, really from referral and our network. Then I also wear the hat of efficiency consultant with the Efficiency Co. And there I coach and train agency leaders, licensees or agencies in various things. I do business development, sales and compliance coaching, as well as a lot of training and workshops and speaking. And then I sit on a couple of industry committees with UDIA on their professional development committee. I present a lot of courses for them as well, and the REIWA Strata Network Committee. And then on the side of that, I go home to my full-time job, which is my 1-year-old and 4-year-old.
That sure is busy. You would need to have everything like completely dialed in for productivity, I would think. But first of all, with Rezzi Strata, so tell me a bit about that. What gap were you trying to fill specifically with your business?
In Western Australia, there's a legislation around strata and a bit of compliance. So from a sales perspective, there's a lot of pre-disclosure you need to do before you get to contract stage. We hope to be agency friendly, so we work with our industry peers to support those processes, and I'll often offer to speak to their buyers and tell them about our portfolio or what's going on at a building they're looking at purchasing. We have set it up as a licensed real estate agency. So I believe at the moment New South Wales is the only state in Australia that's got a licensing requirement or regulation on strata management. So we saw a gap to bring accountability to an industry where it's not quite there. And under Australian consumer law, strata companies aren't necessarily seen as a consumer, but we take that view because we are regulated by consumer protection and see them in that space. We also align with REIWA in that sense. So the contracts are all drafted with a consumer protection focus.
And so the Efficiency Co., what drew you into consulting specifically, and what does it mean when someone hires the efficiency code? Like, what are they getting?
We take the approach of automating the mundane to focus on the meaningful. So we do a lot around AI, technology, automating processes, streamlining agency systems and things like that. So Joe works in the property management space and I work more with the developers, sales agents and other licensees and agency leaders.
So I think what's really interesting about the work that you're doing there is all the work to do with anti-money laundering, the AML legislation that comes in next year. So tell me, how prepared is the real estate industry for that?
I think there's a bit of fear around it, more so, as we saw when, there's been changes in the past that impact the industry, and it does become a bit of a worry because we are so compliance focused. But I think the thing is to just be aware of your responsibilities under the legislation, because there are severe penalties and it does fall outside of our usual real estate legislation. But just be ready, start preparing now. Like I've worked with agencies who are already implementing the type of things that will be required under the Tranche 2 AML reform. And we're partnering with some tech companies that are building out the processes and software that are going to support agencies doing the AML and compliance checks.
Yeah. How much extra work is it going to be for the average agency?
Probably if you're using tech, as we do, as we say, the AI first employee, Sam, it's essentially going to do it for you. So just like you would with your verification of identity at the moment, if it flags something, you'll have a dedicated compliance officer or AML CTF officer within your business who will be responsible for reporting that to AUSTRAC. To be really clear, it's not the sense that we're meant to take the punitive approach or we're supposed to do any further investigation. As far as we go, the deal should still go through and be everything as normal. You don't let them know, but there's just a report or flag sent to AUSTRAC, who then continue the investigations where and if they need to go.
You've been in strata management for like 20 odd years. And I sort of want to get, I guess, today to the guts of efficiency and property management and AI, and like we're going to go around in circles for a bit, but hopefully in the same spot. But walk me through like a particular pain point in strata management. Like, what are the most time-consuming, soul-destroying process in strata management, like where you think there has to be a better way, and how have you solved it?
Oh, absolutely. So we've taken on some really leading innovative technology in the industry. It's probably 10 years ahead of the industry itself at the moment. And we're about to pilot Agentic AI agents who will, like as an example, make your arrears calls, set payment plans and follow them up, essentially. They can clone our voice so it can sound like, I think I've created an AI Nikki who does some of my social media content for fun, and I just pilot her with scripts and dialogues, and she essentially puts out video content without me feeling awkward. We've got a lot of automation through our systems and softwares with regards to raising levies, processes that are built into our software, checklists, really streamlining it. So I feel it gives, where you ask what the pain points are, and I'd say the level of communication that comes through. Because in an average portfolio, you might have 1,600 lots. So that's 1,600 owners that are potentially able to contact you in that moment. So what I really would like to do is bring in some really solid leaders into the space, which we already have, to be the face of a portfolio, whilst everything else can be as automated so that they can focus on the human element, which is often the most difficult. We go 80% of it is process, and if we can streamline those, we can focus on that meaningful 20% human interaction.
Where do you reckon the line is between what should be automated and what should be handled by a human?
I think it's important to be across and know what's going on in your portfolio, and there's lots of ability with AI and reporting, and I've been trialling many different things for various pain points, whether it's email, pre-drafting, etc., like using AI as essentially an email management system, pre-drafting emails in my voice tone, understanding legislation. I built out my own GPT, so like sort of a Nikki's operating procedure, operating processor that my team can tap into and essentially ask it questions and get the right answers for our business to keep consistency. And then we've set up mini GPTs per scheme, so per strata company we manage, that knows its specific dynamics and bylaws and answers to questions. So if it's something as simple as going, are pets allowed? We've got a mini GPT for that strata company that'll spit out the right answer specific to that one. So anyone in our team can access that and help respond.
So that's a really good takeaway for the people listening at home, is that it's not just one big GPT and it's not just ChatGPT, but you've actually created little mini versions of ChatGPT for each company that gives specific answers.
And it's very handy because anyone can step into that portfolio, or the receptionist can answer a basic question about that scheme. You know, if a real estate agent calls and needs to know if a pet can be approved or anything like that, it can be done in the one contact.
All right, let's get really practical. I am a property manager.
Mm-hmm.
I've done this role play before. But I'm a property manager. Maybe I'm running a small team, or I'm an agency principal and my business feels a bit chaotic at the moment, like busy. Firefighting, working weekends. Actually, it feels like my real life at the moment, but, like hard to get ahead. And so I get on the phone to the efficiency company and say, help me. What happens first? Walk me through your audit process. What are you looking for when you come into a business?
We generally will start with a discovery workshop. So we'll work through the pain points, and it's an engaging session, and generally more about the business and the culture and things like that. So it's really important to identify that. We go a lot into brain thinking, brain function, how people operate, personality types and things like that as well, to help identify. And then getting into the nuts and bolts with the high-level consultancy, sitting with agency leaders, we'll start looking at their day-to-day tasks and helping them streamline what can be delegated and what can be automated. And I find half the problem, say a property manager might have a lot of support and assistance but doesn't let go of the task, and we get so task heavy. So it's about really looking at, what tech is there, what support can be offered, what systems are out there and what can they do for you, and really finding that particular pain point. My biggest pain point is the volume of emails. And I think we've had this chat before, Sam, so you're probably the same. So I've been trialing all different things, whether it's an offshore staff member, ticketing my emails, or if it's an AI, and I've been testing out Fixer recently, which I really liked. And we're looking at another one at the moment that'll do it over a whole business rather than one inbox. And essentially it goes in, reads, categorizes, puts them into separate folders if it's, marketing and things like that. So you've only got the meaningful things in your inbox and you can set that all up in the background. But it also pre-drafts, it learns your voice and email tone from being in your Outlooks or your Google Mail system, and then pre-drafts the responses that you can then go back, check and send. The first week I did a trial week and I had saved 6 hours that week. So essentially nearly a whole day that I could go out focusing on growth.
Actually, I calculated the other day, if you can save 2 hours a day with AI, that's a month a year. So what would you do with a month a year?
I'd be in Italy.
I reckon I wouldn't be far behind you, actually. I'm thinking Greece. But you've mentioned a couple of things that are in your toolbox at the moment. So with Fixer and ChatGPT, you're using GPTs, but is there anything else in your toolkit that, that is worthy of mention?
Oh, look, I love Notebook LLM, and as you attended our session that we presented at REIWA, we actually uploaded the whole document into Notebook LM and created a conversational podcast, and that's how I pre-listened to that podcast for a couple of days straight just to learn my content completely ready to be confident speaking on that day. I love that. I've put the WA Guide to Strata Titles Living, which is about a 50-page titling office document that's boring as, and turn it into an interesting conversational podcast that we can share with new people entering into strata communities. use that a lot, and that's part of the Google package. So I also use Gemini, and I tend to cross-train my GPT and my Gemini and use them for different things. I like Gemini more from a search perspective because it does capture Google, and I'm the Google generation. But HeyGen is my AI Nikki go-to. So I've built out my own avatar based on myself, and this came out of your session at the REIWA course. I think you use another program, but I went with HeyGen because before I step into any AI and looking at ethical use of AI and responsible use of AI, I tend to do an analysis against different platforms that are my top picks, and more so around to check what the terms and conditions are, what to red flag, what privacy, etc. So I like HeyGen because you keep the rights to your avatar. So if you delete it, your avatar comes with you. It's not kept somewhere. Essentially, it's a risk. I've created a deep fake of myself, right?
There's so many tools now that I could almost sample your voice from here, say I've got permission, and there's Nikki. Hey, Nikki.
Exactly. When like I say, people get very scared of it, and it's one of the biggest fears of society at the moment is AI and what it's going to do. And I think if you don't get on board and utilize it, it helps make us more human because it takes away a lot of tasks. But getting on board and utilizing it, I just think sometimes I'm not that important. Like, who wants to clone me anyway?
Well, like I mean, I'm an ethical operator. I wouldn't anyway. But on the topic of AI, which is a topic I love, obviously, what are people wanting to know? What's in their heads? What are they concerned about?
Funnily enough, AI is definitely the biggest topic that's coming up through our RE Barcamp. And just for those that don't know, that's a unconference inviting real estate professionals and adjacents together. And we make up our own topics and speak to that as group leaders and an industry. So it's a really good way of seeing what's top of mind at the industry at the moment. And it's certainly AI. There's a lot still just using it or starting to use it to draft emails or clean up their writing. And a lot are looking at, one, the fears around it. So as I just mentioned, what to be looking for, how to use it ethically, where you want to be where, and then how they can be using it better. So that's the space that I just love. And I don't claim to be any, guru of AI, and I don't think we ever would be because it's just constantly changing. But if you're just that few steps ahead and remain curious and try different things and think about like what you're doing and how AI might be able to enhance it, do it, or make it better, that's where the secret sauce is for AI, I believe.
Yeah, I think. Oh well, I think so too. Like, I think that AI is not meant to be, like some kind of autopilot. Like, I think the way that particularly, like, I feel like the way that I'm using AI has changed and very much co-pilot. Like these days, I'm very much pushing back on it and seeing where my gaps are. And I was really, really interested that you use it just for speed learning. I have been too. Like I've been uploading a transcript of a YouTube clip to Claude and then saying, test me on this. I don't know, the people that are saying that, rots your brain or something like that. I would disagree with that.
I feel like just the experience of being in a startup for one, experimenting, and what I have learnt with AI, I do a lot of books. So I do a lot of listening to podcasts. I listen to a lot of audiobooks. That's what's on in my car while I'm driving around to meetings and things. But AI, sometimes if I get a bit bored halfway through a book, and I think anyone can sort of say, I really want to finish this book. I was really interested in the topic, but I'm not engaged. I'll tend to use AI to give me the 5 key points and what to learn and how I can apply it or something like that, or my own reviews of a book or idea that I've heard or read, and I use AI to go, how can I better create this for myself or implement it or learn, or how can I take this on? So I find from a learning perspective, I always say if you're going to an event or a conference, you want to be able to take away one gold nugget. I can take away millions in inevitable gold nuggets from what I'm learning and then enhancing with AI.
Let's shift gears slightly. So a lot of people listening, they're either solo operators at the moment or running small teams, maybe 2 to 5 people. One of the biggest problems I'm hearing at the moment is recruitment. Like everyone is worried about losing key people. Everyone's finding it hard to get key people. And, particularly in WA, I know the market's quite tight over there. If someone was running a property management business and one of their team members quit or they decided to move out east or something like that, what's the one system you would recommend for continuity?
You've got to engage your staff for one, have them involved as much as they want to be, make them feel an important part. That's obviously number one. Have really solid, experienced people on the front line, but alleviate the tasks. And whether that's offshoring, and I am building out an offshore team. I absolutely love them. I've got someone with a Bachelor of Accounting and MBA and couldn't recruit that here to do trust accounting, empowering them to use AI to do their jobs better is just a next level hack. And having them as the support, doing the doing, taking the tasks away from your team so that they can focus on what they enjoy or the people or the solving the bigger issues, it makes a real impact. And we've got a great dynamic starting to grow of that. I've got Natalie and Susie, who are two really solid industry leaders in both commercial real estate and strata. So really lucky to have them. And we're building out the team that can take away, even if it's a 5-minute task that's just annoying, but it's there and it's on your to-do list, but just to know that's done. I've gone and run the meeting. Everything from there is just automated and it's streamlined for the clients. We've got a supportive, great team doing that. From a recruitment perspective, I'm hoping to recruit bigger and grow. I don't know yet. So far, it's been on referral and network, so which has been really, really great. And I hope that we're creating an attraction agency so that people will approach us wanting to work here to see the type of culture, flexibility and what we offer.
Which one comes first? Is it the attraction culture or is it, having the systems and processes in place?
We're in startup. So
yeah.
Natalie and I come from a JLL background historically. So, all your systems and processes are in place. So it was really hard for her to navigate not having that and me having to sell the beauty of us being the creators of that as we go. But that can be a really tough shift going from structure to startup, as one might know, especially for those smaller agencies in that space. I really think it's the culture and dynamic first, and then build the processes around that.
And so you just mentioned, sort of the building the team, the outsourced team. Like I remember it was a choice between offshore, outsourced, Delegate, and now there's AI in the mix as well. How are you figuring out the balance between all of those things?
I can comfortably answer that because, like I said, I empower. I'm all for offshore. I still believe in people first, so the human side of things, and that AI can make us be better humans or help us be better humans. And that's where my offshore team will have those AI support tools and take away the mundane or scary. I don't expect them to be making the arrears calls and doing the debt collection. AI can do that. We can support the process, but you still need someone to run it. I heard something really interesting, Sam, and you'll like this. They're looking at AI coming out, taking away the need for maths and science-based knowledge, and that the future of the workplace is going to be social sciences and behaviours, because it's all going to be the human, because we're going to be able to, if you've got a social minded or social science mind, you're going to be able to discuss needs and problems with the AI and build it, no code, or, pull the science and maths into it. And I know I love this idea because that's probably why I'm spruiking it, because I'm not a maths and science brain.
The way that I'm using AI at the moment, which I'm liking a whole lot more than I was a year ago, is that like it's a sparring partner almost. It's like, it tells me one thing and then I question it, and then it sort of tells me some other gap that I hadn't considered. And then, that ability to look at things from different angles has just been game-changing, I think.
It grows your self-awareness, and then that helps you become a better person and know more on how to deal with people. And that's where it helps us become better humans, because we're challenging and understanding ourselves as well as others. And I call it's like thinking in patterns, but doing that for you.
This conversation has made me realise as an agent that I could be more efficient. Tomorrow morning is Monday, even though it's not It's probably people will be listening to this on a Saturday, probably, so it'll be Sunday, but pretend it's Monday. What's the literal first step I should take, not strategically, but what's the action that I should take if I'm sort of feeling like I want to be more efficient?
I'd say the first thing to do is to take that Monday to look at your to-do list and maybe physically write down all the tasks that you're doing as you're doing them, just to record it once. And you can drop that into AI. You can drop that into your ChatGPT and go, what can be AI led? What can be automated? What can be delegated? And AI can build that out for you. So you don't even have to think about it. All you have to know is what you're doing in that day of work, and then have it built out, and it can put it into matrices. It can give you, help you prioritize what should be done, what can wait, or, set up a schedule and work week. I've tracked moods and things over the last few months and built out, I've actually got it in my calendar through my AI calendar, like when my high performance, when my low peaks are, and things like that. So, when I said I built out an operating system, I really did.
If I could wave a magic wand and just erase completely one bottleneck for every property manager listening right now, just poof, gone, what would it be? What do you think we should get rid of for them?
I think it's the paperwork, the admin. That is the first and easiest thing to automate or offshore or use as an AI employee. We're going agentic, building agentic agents that are going to operate in that space, the tech and tools, admin. I think it's the task, the feeling, leaving at the end of the day, and the thought of thinking I'm not finished because it's all tasks. And I'm just all big on alleviate the tasks, focus on the meaningful.
So let's just say we're going to alleviate admin. Give everyone listening one piece of homework. It can be an exercise, a tool, or a process that they could do this week that would make a measurable difference. What's their homework?
I think going and making that Monday list, looking at what tasks you're doing in the day, whether that's how many emails you've sent, what they were about, how many led to a sale or led to an outcome. Because, say the sales funnel, you want to see what's coming through is converting at the end. And if you're not a salesperson from a property management perspective, you want to see what is actually moving the needle in your portfolio. So I would go away, write down the list of tasks following my day-to-day, and then dump that into AI and get it to build me a matrix and tell me what can be automated how, and it'll put it out into a beautiful table for you, splitting it up with what can be AI automated. And if you want to go that next level in your prompt, ask for programs, tech, or systems that can support what is going to be, and it will even give you the list of what to trial. And then pick the most annoying task or the easiest starting point and give it a go.
And if that's too much, call the Efficiency Co.
Yeah, exactly. Give us a call. We're always happy. We do Australia-wide too.
The final thing that I always end on, if there was one thing that you would like to leave everyone with, what would it be?
I want to take it back to family. Hug your loved ones. That's all. No matter what we're doing and what we're automating, just remember who you're doing that for.
Yeah, good advice. Nikki D'Agostino, thank you so much.
Thanks, Sam. Nice to see you.